we say it to them?
Yes.
Okay.
3. Welcome to the pod, Matt. You're watching the MaateCast. Was that good?
I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was like a little bad.
It was slightly off.
Yeah.
I think I was going a bit faster. Welcome to the
pod.
The mod, I think. Welcome to the pod, Matt. You're watching the MaateCast.
That's
Nice.
pretty good.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the very first podcast.
This is our first ever podcast with the two Matts. My name's...
As you can see.
Yeah. My name's Christian.
My name's Millar.
I weigh just under 70 kilos now, probably, if I were to weigh myself.
That's alright. It's pretty good.
We'll take that. I work at Sombrero. I make burritos for a living. I'm just under 6 foot as well. No, I am 6 foot.
Thank you.
I think I'm on 6 foot.
Thank you.
Your turn.
Thank you for that, Gilfie.
Oh,
I am a golf services provider. Currently sitting at about 76 kilos of weight and
Wow.
edging on the 6'8" side of things.
6 foot what?
I'm also a strong advocate for Samsung.
6 what? What did you say?
6'8".
No.
I'm like edging on 6'8".
No,
Oh,
after that.
I said I'm also a strong advocate for Samsung.
Yeah. My go-to network provider is Telstra, although I'm wanting to change that soon. Does that do it for the intro? Oh, I was born in Mackay, North Queensland. We're both from Australia. If you're watching this overseas for some weird reason, and if you're watching this and you're not one of our close friends,
We are Australian.
Welcome to the MaateCast.
You watch this.
I should have said welcome to the pod, Matt. You're watching the MaateCast.
We're watching the MaateCast. But anyway, yeah, we're both Aussies. He was born in Mackay. I was born in Brizzy.
Yeah.
Born and raised.
We're currently living in Brizzy in our own unit. We are in our own unit at the moment, and we are on that social media influencer, YouTuber, TikToker, Instagram reeler, Facebook reeler grind. So
Indeed, we are. Yeah.
Anything to say? Anything more?
Yeah, this has been something long overdue. We've been wanting to do this for a very long time now, and we're just happy to be here, happy to get things rolling. Without further ado, let's get into it.
So, we're getting into our first podcast here, but why? Why are we even starting a podcast? Why? What are we going to be talking about on this podcast?
True that.
Why? What's the point in watching if we're just two randos that live in Australia and have nothing going for them?
Yeah.
Except their casual jobs.
Very casual.
Take it away, Milsy.
So, essentially what we're doing in this podcast is we're going to be talking about kind of what to expect in this podcast and in future podcasts. Not only that, but also in our own videos, what you can expect from those as well as our joint channel that will be coming soon. We're going to be doing, basically, we want to indulge in as much content as we can to bring you guys as much as we possibly can. We want to entertain, we want to give you guys something that you can take something away from.
Yeah, so pretty much we just plan on talking about stuff we're interested in, whether that's music, movies, just funny stories. I mean, like, we're going to get to a point where we're thinking of things to talk about to hopefully be funny. So it's not going to be... I mean, we'd like to provide information that's useful, but I think this podcast will mainly be to entertain, to just sit down, relax, talk to two Aussie blokes, two Aussie Matts. We're both a little nervous. No, but we're really excited. Not only that, but we're really excited to start a podcast just to get good at doing a podcast. Because obviously, it's going to take a while to get good at a podcast, but we'd like to be, by the time we blow up, which we eventually will, it's only a matter of time, we want to be good at podcasting as well. And we figured there's only good things that come from podcasting. So we're going to be podcasting, and on this channel where it's uploaded, we will be, or if you're listening to this on the actual podcast app, respect, we're going to have a a YouTube channel called the MaateCast, because that is what this podcast is called, the MaateCast. We will explain what Maat means soon in this podcast. But we'll be uploading little clips from the video. If you don't want to watch the whole not 2 hours, geez. I said 40-something hours earlier.
We don't need this podcast till we get famous. That's the deal.
Yeah, we'll be posting clips, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So shorter clips from the podcast onto the channel if you don't want to watch the whole hour or whatever.
If there's like little bits that take your interest more than obviously the whole hour-long podcast, then we'll make sure we upload those just so you have them at ease.
Yeah. But it's pretty much, we're just trying to make as much content as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And that includes podcasts, which we also think is a good skill to have.
Yeah, and we have interests and we want to discuss topics that we think can be of interest to you guys as well. So I think we're trying to really make sure you guys are involved just as much as we're making the content and doing stuff like that. We want to appeal to you guys. So
yeah. And we love... It's a MaateCast, so we've got to get other Maats on the MaateCast.
Yeah,
so we're going to get
plenty of interviews.
We're going to get plenty of our friends and just get their perspective on things, talk about things that only they could talk about. Because I feel like we have a good, diverse range of friends. And
you say diverse?
Diverse,
isn't it?
Diverse.
Isn't it diverse?
We have a good, diverse range.
Diverse. Maybe it is diverse.
I don't know, actually. Diverse.
We have a very diverse... I think it's diverse.
We have a very diverse range of friends. We have a very diverse... Yeah, no, you're probably right.
Anyway.
I've duffed it there. Hey, first duff of the podcast. There it is. Second duff. No, I forgot what I was saying. That's why we're doing the podcast. Oh, our friends and whatnot. So
our friends.
Our mates. So yeah, we plan on doing plenty of that. We just want to keep the content coming. And hopefully it is entertaining. I'm sure we will make it entertaining. That is our goal. So we will get better. Thank you for watching this first one.
Yeah, thank you.
It's going to be very rough around the edges, but hopefully we get better.
Yeah.
You can see where we started and then grow from there.
Yeah, definitely.
So appreciate that. So that is why I would say we're starting the podcast. Experience, fun, content.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good thing to do, and we like talking, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of chemistry talking.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not record it?
Yeah.
But why are we calling it the MaateCast? Let's get into that.
Okay. So why
are we calling it the MaateCast?
It's a good question.
Why is it called the Maat? The people listening without watching the video are lost right now. I don't know.
Alright, I guess. So essentially, let's go back to day one.
We're going back to day one.
You and I. So, it's grade 6. It's the first day of grade 6 back in 2016. I'm sitting at the very back of the class. It's Mr. Proctor's class. This is my second year with Mr. Proctor, his first year. What a year that was.
I've just moved to Brisbane.
Yeah. Next to me is this new kid, and I'm thinking, oh, great, I'm going to get put with the new kid. I've got to, talk to him, meet him, all stuff that I know what I want to do just by looking at him.
I was a chubby boy.
Oh, yeah. Big fella.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Proctor tells me to meet him and to, make sure he feels welcome, so I do. And little did I know that would be the start of like a 7-year-long friendship now?
Yeah, I've lost count.
Yeah.
Too long.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
It needs to be short.
It needs to end. No. Yeah, I was terrified walking into that class.
Yeah.
Sat next to Milsy.
I remember you seemed very just tense that
it was
whole lesson.
It was my worst nightmare to move schools, let alone move a whole town or city. Yeah, so going to school, I cried after the day ended. Probably after the first few days I cried, but I remember I sat down next to you. I was like, I'm just not going to say a word to anyone here. And then Milsy asked me if he could borrow my rubber.
First day of school, I didn't have a rubber.
Yeah, didn't have a rubber first day of school. And of course I said no. No, I let him borrow it. And then I remember talking about
I think it was
we
Suicide
bonded,
Squad.
Yeah, we started to bond over Marvel or like
Marvel and
just
DC,
superhero stuff,
movies
like
and
movies.
stuff like that. Yeah.
And I remember we talked about a bunch of that. I think it was Suicide Squad 2016 it came out. And that was the birth. From then on, we became friends, best friends. What did you say?
Maats.
Yeah, and then Maats.
Yeah.
And then that is what this is. If you're listening via audio, we have tattoos. Maat tattoos.
Yeah. So the tattoo consists of a cap. It's all caps. It's an M, a double A, and then a TE. And essentially, it derives from, and if you haven't watched it, you definitely should, The Big Les Show, which is an Aussie show on YouTube that we thought. I think we started watching it in about 2016, 2017 as well.
Yeah.
Where...
Well, like I was watching it before, but not as much.
Yeah, it was my first time watching it when I found out you were watching it. And then, so in that show, we picked up that they don't really call each other mates, which is what a normal Aussie would. Instead they say, "What's going on, Matt?" And we were like, we took that idea and we kind of put it into our names. So like, you started calling me Milsy Matt. I started just calling you Chris Matt.
Yeah, you call me
like
Chris Matt. And then we had a whole Matt gang in year 8 and year 7 and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it started from the Big Les Show.
Yeah.
It started from us calling each other Matts for some reason. And then it grew and it kind of became like a core thing of our friendship. I've talked about it. I mean, if you're listening to this, you've probably seen our videos where we've talked about it multiple times. So, but that's where that derived from. We are Matts. It has connected us since we came up with it.
Yeah, and then we went to New Zealand last year. And we had the idea of, you know, our friendship's gotten us this far. We should get this tattooed on us. And then we were in New Zealand, and if you've seen Chris's video on New Zealand, you see that we get it tattooed, and that's where we got that from. But the idea was actually years and years.
Yeah, it was. And so it connects us via friendship. It's a Matt's count on each other. Matt's a good. You explain it really well, but that's why someone's robbing us. That's why we got the Matt, and that's why we're basing our brand around being Matts, because we want to build a community of Matts, which would be everyone watching this and everyone that comes on the show becomes a Matt.
Yeah, it's basically there's a mate and then there's a Matt, whereas
two A's.
Yeah, we really got to specify that. I would say that, you know, when you have your mates, you have a group of friends that you can sort of talk to and you can have a laugh with, but when there's a Matt, there's someone that you really bond with.
Yeah, it's a real bond.
You go through life's ups and downs with, and it's like, it's almost like you're tied to that person. It's like, you know that no matter what, you will be there for them, you know, and you will always sort of support them. And I think that's what makes Maat special, is that it's different, because you can't really see all that smoke coming out my computer. Because it, kind of like Chris said, we want it to become a massive thing. We want this to be like a massive community where everybody kind of feels like a Maat and everybody is a part of something bigger.
We want everyone to get Maat tattoos on their arms, every single person.
At some point.
And it's not a cult. We're not starting a cult. Are we, Mills?
I didn't think cult.
No.
I said, let's get tattooed.
No. Yeah, so that is the quick rundown of the Maat. So we're calling it, to get less cool, it's welcome to the pod, Matt. You know, because podcast.
It's short for pod, and then you're a Maat.
The MaateCast, because finishes off
Maats.
podcast, and it's got the Maat.
Yeah.
So that's what we're thinking. I think it's pretty good. We got the sign up. Don't know if you can read it.
Yep.
Don't know if you can read it, but there it is.
There is a sign.
And we've got good Travi in the background. We've got Frank
Kevin.
And Kevin.
Kevin.
Its actual name is Kevin, but its middle name is Frank.
We'll call it that.
And we got our Dispo camera. We've got plenty of photos, which we'll show another time.
If you're a Blues supporter, you need to leave the podcast.
We'll be leaving the podcast. Sorry about that. And sorry for the upcoming game. You can't be a Maat if you're a Blues supporter. Simple as that. And that about does it. Bit of footy. Bit of Bunnings. So that is the intro
to
the podcast.
Us, to the podcast.
Why we're doing it.
And Maats.
Now, where do we go from here, you might ask? I don't know.
End it there.
Yeah, this is where we need to get. We do have more interesting things to talk about.
Yeah.
We haven't written down. So that's topic 1. That's like everything there. Have we covered everything?
I think so. I think that pretty much talks about...
Oh, really, really quickly we'll mention Matt bringing you to God.
Yeah.
Not
okay.
Matt itself. Well, like, just
kind of
1 minute. Just give it a rundown.
Well, basically, like, went to a Christian school all my life. This is one that I went to and Chris came to. And when we met, I wasn't Christian, Chris was. And then as we got closer and closer, you started bringing me along to church, started taking me to youth groups, and I was slowly becoming more and more open to it. But it took me a solid 4, I think it was just under 4 years until I actually said yes. And I think that's why we really wanted to push this idea, was because it does just go to show how far a friendship can take you. And so, you know, it took me as far to not convert to a religion, but like
we're starting our own religion.
To like have a faith for God, which is something that I always was struggling with. And then also to get a tattoo of it and to travel the world with someone that you would consider not just a mate, but they're a mate.
Yeah. So that was another binding. Man, we're really going in with that cult.
Oh, I like that.
No. Yeah, like it's another part of the mat is obviously you don't have to be a Christian to be a mat, but
no, yeah.
That's
an example of what like can come of being a mat, is like something on that scale.
Yeah, it's that deeper spiritual connection in a way. So we encourage y'all to embrace being a mat.
To get tatted.
You are a mat. If you're watching this, you are a mat. And if you get tatted, freaking get tatted.
That is...
If you want the tat, get it.
Massive respect.
I'm open to any other mat.
Massive respect if you get that tatted. That's sick.
I will pay.
How much did we pay? It was like... Wasn't it 100?
Oh no, yeah, 100 or something.
Yeah.
I would pay.
I would pay to get... No.
If one of you mats were going to get a mat tattoo...
You'd pay it?
In this spot, I'd give like $100.
You would pay them to go and get it tatted?
Yeah, $100.
I don't know.
If you're a true mat.
What if it's like 10 people come up to us and they're all like, "What do you want to do it?" You paying $1,000?
10 grand? Oh, yeah, I'll pay $1,000. Gotta get it done. Build the brand. Nah, but for real, embrace your mathood, and that's probably enough for that conversation. Now let's move on. We have a little bit more to talk about. We don't want to talk for too long, but we want to continue giving advice, giving an outside perspective view, giving our experiences on school and life after graduation and what it's been like, and what we thought of school and whatnot. For you, Milsy, how was the last year of school for you?
Well, yeah, we both graduated last year, and I think for me, and like I've said this to you before, it was easily just the hardest year I think I ever went through. Like not even just because of school, but just because of everything that happened, and but school mainly, I would say, oh man, it was a roller coaster. There was so much that happened, both good and sort of bad, that I think has stuck with me even now, like 4 or 5 months after. And yeah, if you had said to me that this was going to happen in that 1 year, I would have said, nah, like there's just no way that's happening. All that, no way that's happening. But I think altogether, grade 12, I mean, like, I wish I could go back and do it all again, you know? Like, it's just the memories you make, the people you meet, and just being in that environment, it was just like, it's just something that you'll never get again. Yeah. You know? And so I think if I could do it again, I would. Yeah. Obviously it hurt, because it wasn't the greatest, year. But at the same time, I feel like... Sorry, dogs are touching.
Collided.
I feel like there was so much that I got out of that year as well.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. complete opposite.
Really?
No, not the complete opposite. I wouldn't go back. I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah.
There's parts that I
would
miss.
go. So yeah, just to clarify, I'd go back if I didn't have to do the work.
Yeah.
100%, because the work was pretty.
Well, yeah, that's the.
Would you say the work was pretty intense?
I don't even know, to be honest. It was, but I barely even think of it anymore.
Because I think
You're 11.
grades 6 to 8 or 9. They think, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what grade 12 is going to be like. Whereas
you get there and you're still having fun. We had fun.
Yeah, 100%.
That was one thing I had was and if you're listening to this and you're in grade 11, 10, 12, 10, one thing that I had was I really wanted to take advantage of school, specifically high school, because I knew it was, I knew that's where a lot of memories come from, and that's where you build a lot of stuff, and it's a one-time thing. So you got to take advantage of it. I was so ready to leave school the last 2 years, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but after we finished school, I was happy. Well, not happy. Well, I was happy. I never had a moment where I was damn, it's hitting me. I was it just felt right to leave. So I was ready to leave, don't get me wrong. But I also knew it was this one-time thing. So I wanted to get involved and I wanted to do stuff. And wanted to have fun. Wanted to plan the last week's school, do a bunch of stuff. The Year 12 dance.
Yeah.
The good stuff. The other stuff we were involved in. Just trying to make the most of it and have a good time. But having said that, life after graduation. We graduated. It was a beautiful night. Graduation night.
Massive highlight.
Yeah.
Was the night we graduated. I think, to be honest, in that moment, more than ever, is when it actually set. It was okay, we're never coming back. You know? Because it was honestly, like you've said, it just hasn't hit. We haven't had that moment where it's been oh my gosh, I miss school so much.
And I only start missing school when I think about the moment specifically. I think about family group. Pardon me. When I think about missing family group, maybe, or think about just the fun times I had, or I see old videos.
When I go through the yearbook.
Yeah,
it's brutal.
yearbook, it's over. It's over.
But brutal.
I try to put those feelings aside.
Yeah.
I just try and never think about it, so then I'm never sad. But yeah, sorry.
What would you say was favorite memory, favorite part of grade 12? Because I think that's something that a lot of grade 10s and 11s don't really, not that they don't get, but they sort of don't take advantage of, is getting involved.
Yeah.
I think it actually is one of the best things is to get involved in your school and to be doing as much as you can, because you're exposing yourself to more opportunities and to learning as much as you possibly can, and at the same time it's just so many memories and people that you meet, and it's obviously it won't always be what you expect. You might end up hating it, but you learn what you like and what you don't like. So what would you say was just your highlight of grade 12, just most best moment?
I don't even know. Most best?
Most best.
That's the way.
Thank you, Gilfie.
I can't stress that enough of getting involved in doing stuff, because that helped me helped me grow in so many ways. But best moment, I definitely couldn't put it down to one moment, but I think the carnivals might have been a highlight for me. Just leading, because we're both house captains, leading those, getting involved in all that, I feel that was a highlight.
Yeah.
And for you?
I do have a highlight, I do, and it's it just really, to me, it was best feeling was war cry competition. Because the year before, I remember we absolutely duffed it. My house duffed it, and we came 4th or 5th, and then seeing, I think it was Burnell. Burnell had that amazing war cry, and I was just oh my gosh, because I was very passionate.
It was good.
I was very passionate about war cries, and I was desperate to win it. And then come this year, I remember we went 2nd or 3rd, and then I saw you go, your house went, and then Burnell went, and I was the stress I felt in that moment of, did we win this or did we just lose hard? and then finding out that we came first, because it was a year of like prepping and training just to get this dub.
Yeah.
But like it really was a good feeling, and I actually think that really helped us get to a higher point overall.
It probably would have, yeah.
In the overall winner.
Lord knows Newton could have used that. Lord knows it.
Should have prayed for that one.
You know, that's a whole other thing. Is Miller and I used to have conversations on like PlayStation Party.
Oh yeah.
Talking about how when we would become house captains, like hopefully
it would
the
just
rivalry we have, yeah, and it'd be between Livingston and Newton, blah blah. Didn't end up happening how we envisioned.
No,
but
not at all.
Literally, I heard the other day Newton came last in athletics war cries.
Athletics. Have they already had athletics?
Cross country.
We actually won that one.
Yeah, we duffed that.
We won. I think we lost swimming carnival war cries. I think we did terrible in swimming carnival. I don't even want to know how we did.
Yeah.
But I think we won cross country war cries.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well done. Well played.
We'll have to ask some of the kids how we're doing.
No, yeah, but that is kind of where we were at during school. We'd been planning to move in for a while.
We've been talking about it for like maybe a year or so.
Yeah, and like originally we didn't want to like make content, like that wasn't really the goal. We just wanted to move in because we thought it'd be fun. But slowly over time, you started to get that desire for wanting to make videos and whatnot. Well, like we kind of, I don't know, we just got to that point, but we got the opportunity of moving in. My parents bought this unit, so we moved into it. So that was amazing. Hashtag blessed. God. And so that happened after we graduated. But before we graduated, we went to New Zealand. After we graduated, before we moved in, we went to America.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. So that was for a men's conference that we went to. That Dad wanted to take my brother and I on. And of course, I had to get my real brother instead of my fake brother. So he took us on that because he went a few years back and he thought it was really good. So, damn, I was going to say something on that. But yeah, we just went on that trip to America. And then it was a day after Rolling Loud was when we were arriving. So then my brother begged Dad, we both begged Dad to like get the flights a little earlier. And we did, and we booked Rolling Loud tickets. And we went to Rolling Loud, and we went and saw Travis Daddy.
Spice.
Scott. Spice. Yeah. So we went to Rolling Loud. We've got thoughts on that. We could go into it.
We could. Do we have time? I think we have time if we want.
We're at about 30, I think.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Suppose we can touch on it.
Let's touch, just briefly.
Yeah.
Because we will be uploading videos where we share some more thoughts.
True.
Or you've already done yours.
I think, just my overall census was... It felt like something that would happen once in a lifetime. It was just like, wow, I just can't believe I'm here. And because in Australia, we don't really get to see many of these artists perform.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting exposing ourselves to the culture over there. I think it's so much different. And it was awesome to just be in the crowd and in the moshes and just everybody knows every word to every song. It was insane how much they indulge in the rap. Over there.
Yeah, it's like the culture, is so different and in rap and hip hop.
We thought we knew rap.
Yeah, like you think, there's people that listen to hip hop and whatnot in Australia, but it's so like over there it feels like that is the only thing
that is all they listen to.
And that is the culture is hip hop. So when you're hearing rappers talk about,
it's more like trap. Well.
When you hear, but it's like when you're hearing the rappers talk about killing people and doing all these drugs and blah blah blah, as you do. Like when you're hearing that said in America in the culture, and like that's where they're talking about doing it. It hits so much differently because it's like that's where they do it, and all these people listening are supporting that and like with that. It's like frick, like it's like that killing culture. I don't know what the culture is. Maybe hip hop culture, but that like vibe of all that stuff. It's not. I feel like over here, the best way I could put it is like over here, it's like we don't realize it, but it's like a dream. It's like a fantasy thing. Like you speak it, and it's just fun to say.
It definitely hits different when there's thousands of people screaming it.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, like here, no one like that stuff doesn't happen. So you say it, and it's like sounds tough, but over there, it's like
it's real.
It's real, so it sounds even tougher. But everyone's around you rapping, and you're like, damn, like this is real. This is culture. This is it. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. You good?
Just that. I thought I was ripping
it's
something.
A duff shirt.
Yeah, big duff. So yeah, that was fun, but it was a bit of a duff standing. That was just the worst part.
We
landed. We landed.
So much later. And
then we chilled for a few hours. We didn't go to a hotel. We just explored LA, and then we went straight to the Rolling Loud before they'd even opened the gates.
It started at 1 in the Arvo.
Yeah, we got there at 11.
Around 11.
Yeah, we got there at 11 a.m., got our tickets, went in, and we were there till 11, I think.
We were basically, like, our main goal for that night was the night Trav was playing, was to get really good spot for Trav. And so, but obviously there were people that we really wanted to see as well. And I think the most painful part of the whole festival was just the standing, for like 10 hours straight. You're just standing and you're waiting, and not that the other artists were bad. It was just like we really just
felt
came
like a lot
for,
of the same.
Yeah.
So it was like we started standing at like 3 maybe, and then you're standing in the same spot, bit of room until like 7 when Don comes on, and then everyone bunches in, and then you're stuck there. Standing.
Yeah, there is like
you can't really see. Some dude puts his girl on
top,
on shoulders.
No view, and
every time
I swear we were the only. First of all, we were the only white people in about a 5 kilometer radius, and then like literally on the first night we went for Trav, and even on the second night I think as well.
Yeah,
we got put behind someone who would like put their girl up on their shoulders, and it was just like.
And it was hard to see as is,
see.
but then like when someone does that, you just can't see a single
There's nothing. There is no horizon.
So that happened over and over.
There's a horizon.
There is a horizon. But so yeah, that was pain. Second day we did a lot better.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the trip was good. We explored LA.
Vegas.
Yeah, sorry, Vegas, San Diego. Then we had the men's camp, which was very inspiring.
Very good. Yeah.
Very good.
We'll do like a podcast on that as well. I reckon we should. Talk about that.
Yeah. We could just... Yeah. We should tell the... Do you want to tell this? Nah. I feel like we told the story of you getting, like, pickpocketed.
Oh. Basically, it was... we were in the strip in LA, and, like, where all the movie stars have their, like, stars and their names on the ground.
Yeah, this is funny.
And we're walking through, and we're coming back up the strip, and then there's this like group of guys, and they have these like CDs, and they're just on the street, and they're trying to sell them to just like random people.
They don't even sell them. They go up to you and they're like, oh, like free. Do you want the CD? Like sign your name. Sign your name on it, and it's yours.
That's how they really win. Is they're like sign your name. It's completely free. Like we won't charge you anything.
So then you write your name on it. They give it to you, and then they go, oh, like
surely a tip. Surely something.
You want to give
and so I had one guy on me, and like at first I was like, oh, like I wouldn't mind giving him like a little bit of money, like it's fine. But also, if I can not give the money, I won't. So I was like, I just won't do anything. And then, of course, Ryan is right next to me, and he gives me the nudge, and he's like, surely you've got something for him, right? And then I was
Dad
like...
was trolling. He was trolling because he knows.
And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess I'll give a bit of money. Never do this next thing. I literally... Because all I had money-wise in the States was about $500 cash. I pull out my wallet, and these 4 guys, like... all their eyes just turn to my wallet that's just loaded with cash, and then they all flock around me.
It was
They're
literally...
like, bro, where's the tip at? Like, like, surely just a 20. I'll trade you a 50 for a 20 or something like that. And then
it was fun.
I don't even know how much I gave.
Yeah.
But it was like 40, 50 bucks. Yeah. And then while I'm like handing out all this freaking money, Ryan's and then he just starts walking off, and then they walk off as well.
We were walking off. We were telling.
I'm up there like, guys, I can't get out.
We're telling Miller like, you just gotta keep walking. You gotta walk. You gotta say no. You gotta say no because he hasn't like had to deal with anything.
Mind you, before. These are 6'7" freaking.
One of them was
tough toned dudes.
No, the
like,
rest were
they're huge.
Skinny.
Not in my eyes.
Yeah, but that was just funny because we're walking off, telling Miller to walk, and he sat there with his wallet, like, oh, and the boys are yelling at him, and he's like, oh.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I think I gave about, I don't know, like $30 then, and I was like, all right, that's it, I'm done, I'm not giving any more. And then I start walking away, and then the big dude starts following me, and he's like, bro, surely just a 20. I can see you've got a 20 right there. Just surely the 20, just 120. That's all I want. And that went on for about 2 minutes up the strip, and like he just was not giving up. And Chris and Michael looking back, and they're laughing because I think they just knew I was going to give them money at some point. So then I literally, these are my exact words. So I was like, I got to hand it to you, man. You've done pretty well. And I gave him like a 20. So I think overall I gave him about $50, and I had about 5 CDs in hand. The very next bin I saw, chucked them straight in the bin. Yeah, because I was fuming.
Yeah. And like $50 American is like 70.
That's like 8. Well, no, because the dollar went up. So that it was like...
Yeah, it was like 80 probably.
80, $90 gone.
$80 Australian just given away to these blokes. I mean, you probably made their day, I guess.
Oh, yeah. So, just a tip for if you haven't gone to the States, but if you are going, and if that happens to you, just don't even like... Just
engage.
Walk. Just keep walking.
You can engage. Do not ever bring out your wallet.
Don't bring out the wallet. That was definitely the duff right
there.
That
was a massive duff.
That was when
that was funny.
I lost all my money.
That was a good duff. So yeah, America trip. It was really good.
Favorite artist?
We're getting into that.
Just.
I have to say Travis. And then it goes.
Okay. So our favorite artist was definitely Trav. That's literally why we went.
Yeah.
But besides him,
my second was Lil Yachty. Goated.
Okay.
I just really liked hearing his new stuff live. That was amazing. It was like a dream come true almost. And then his other stuff was like, it was cool to experience it because it was just his bangers and he was screaming at you, open the freaking pit. He was getting mad.
Borderline like ticked off.
He sounded mad. Like he's like, what the F are y'all doing? Open up the effing pit. And everyone's like, open up. And like, you're standing here like this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's screaming, open the pit. And I'm like, bruh, it's open.
Doesn't get much more open than this, mate.
I can't even freaking move. And then the beat would drop, and then everyone's jumping. Almost fell over a couple times, but that wasn't. It was almost not enjoyable because like you could really barely move, like or barely like jump and enjoy it. But I really liked his other stuff. So he's my number 2. Number 3 was probably I can't remember, Lil Baby or Don.
Yeah,
would have to be, but yeah.
Yeah.
And you have done your top.
I have already showed my top.
Video.
I think Don was just like, I don't know what it was. I honestly don't. It was just the feeling of being there, and then again, like that was one of the artists that everybody knew every song, and just being in that moment was like far out. This is one of the coolest things ever, and all his songs were great. Like I realized how underappreciated I was of him and his songs, and I was like, man, he actually has a lot of good stuff. So yeah. I think he's probably my favourite besides Trav. Yeah.
And he brought JB out.
That
was swag.
And I'm not like a massive fan of JB, but even I was like, okay, that's...
He doesn't make
it's kind of sick.
Yeah, so that was sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. There's plenty more we could go into on.
We will eventually go into it in
we might.
Separate videos and maybe some more podcast stuff.
Yeah. But we'll stop it there. So that was the America trip.
Yep.
Now we moved in. I've got a video coming soon for that. I don't know if you're doing a video or not for that. We'll see.
I haven't got any content.
Yeah. So that is that. We moved in. We're pretty comfortable now. We've got a bunch of stuff. We're still getting more.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to start doing podcasts, I think weekly.
Well, we'll try weekly.
Yeah, I think
we'll certainly try.
We'll give it a go. Maybe fortnightly might be safer.
Yeah.
But
what to expect from the podcast though? Like what are they going to be looking forward to in these upcoming podcasts?
Well,
would you say
expect improvement? So we will get better at talking and being interesting.
If you are a rap fan, hip hop fan,
yeah,
we will definitely cover albums and artists. And speaking of that,
even not rap, we can talk about just albums in general. If you're a music fan,
Frank Ocean, coming up in Coachella.
True that. If Frank drops an album, we will be recording our reaction. We will be doing a podcast for it.
That would be amazing. I mean, only recently have I been grinding Blonde and just realizing how good it is. Yeah,
we were talking.
I don't even know.
The other night, and I said to Milsy, like, low key, Blonde might be my favorite album
of all time.
Yeah. But who knows? Yeah, so Frank might drop. We're waiting on Utopia, so we'll do stuff for that. That'll come eventually, probably 2026.
I'm liking that.
We'll
maybe
see
2030.
That. Yeah, 30. So podcast should be still going around by then. So yeah, music podcast. We'll talk about movies
as well.
But
games.
I think a lot will just be a lot of updates, but like fun updates. We'll be talking about fun stuff. We'll do fun games as well.
Yeah,
we'll do actual games. We'll do quizzes. I don't know.
Interviews as well. We'll try and interview some of our friends.
I think that'll be a main thing, is bringing others on and talking about stuff that they can only talk about. And bring their extra mind into it. But I think we want to just be entertaining, make something entertaining. So whatever it takes to do that, we will eventually get there in time.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading our notes here for the last topic. Just moving in. We're in an apartment. Why we moved in. We always wanted to. And we want to make content now. So the motivation is high.
Yeah,
the motivation is very high.
It's very high.
And what do we want to get out of it? Well, we have big goals. We have big goals, don't we? For the MaateCast, for our channels in general.
For the business.
Yeah.
We really want to expose this idea of being a Maat as much as we can.
Yeah.
And in as many ways as we can. So I think, we'll talk about in the future just what it is that we're trying to do and how many topics we're trying to cover. I mean, like, content is just one area. Like we want it to be very very inclusive.
And we're gonna I forgot what I was gonna say. Saturate. We're gonna saturate as much as we can. But so it's going good so far. Living in, we've been in here for like 2 weeks maybe, and the motivation is high. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
we're making food. We're doing stuff. We're staying
trying
active.
to make food.
Yeah, it's good. So, should we end it off there?
Would you say to people that are trying to move in, or people that are thinking about moving in, or just want to move in, is it worth?
Is it worth it?
I say 110% yes. The feeling of moving in, what comes with it is, I think, growth. You mature in a lot of ways. And like we both said, the motivation is just at an all-time high for content, for going and doing things, for like, it's not even so much a home. It's just where we live. It's just where we go to.
Yeah.
But what it's actually doing, but by living here, it's motivating us to get out there and do as much as we can. Like we're hardly ever home, and we're hardly ever actually interacting because there's just so much we want to do.
Yeah. It's like it limits distractions being here because it's like you have no family, you have no friends besides each other. So you get home and you're like, all right, better get to work. Like that's the vibe. And then if I
down the wrong pipe.
I see Milsy working, and I'm like, frick, I better go edit too. And so, yes, if you think you are, it's hard. I wouldn't wait till you're out of school. I don't know.
Definitely wait till you're financially stable. But also, don't let that dictate what you can and can't do.
And we're very lucky because we're not really spending a lot of money on living. We do have to pay for everything but like the actual house itself.
We've been very blessed with the rent and with the amount we're paying, but we're trying to take advantage of that as much as we can.
Yeah. So
see, I say advantage. Would you say advantage?
Advantage.
Damn, that's weird.
That's fricked up.
Diverse advantage.
Diverse. All right. Yeah. I think.
And that covers most of it.
Yeah.
If not all of it.
The first ever MaateCast podcast. Podmat. Oh, we should end it on prayer. Milsy's all in on it.
I am all in on it.
I know. I know why. We're all in. If you're still here with us at the end of the bloody podcast, respect to you.
Thank you for watching. It does mean a lot to us.
Yeah. You're a top G. Or you're a top Maat.
You're a top Maat.
I don't know if this will be a common thing, but I figured, I don't know how to end it. I feel like a prayer is suitable. It came to my mind the other night. I feel like we should just pray and end it off.
I like it though.
Well, let's do it. People at home, join in with the prayer. You can receive blessing too through this prayer.
Take it away.
As simple as that. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this podcast. We thank you for the great podcast that it's been so far. Lord, we just pray for absolute expansion and growth in this area. We pray that you bless the words Milsy and I speak on this podcast every single week/fortnight. I'm out here rhyming. Thank you for the podcast. Thank you for the people watching it. We thank you that they grow with us and they want to become Maats with us. We pray that the Maat brand, the Maate culture, the Maat friendship, the Maat bond continues to grow as we saturate the market with content. Thank you, Lord, for being with us. Thank you for the blessing that you've given us to be able to do this. And we pray that you bless everyone at home for watching this. We pray that they get something out of it and they have a great time now and in the future MaateCasts. Anything to say, Milsy?
I think you've done pretty well there, Gilfie.
Frick yeah. In Jesus' name, we say amen to that. It's the end of the podcast. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much for watching the MaateCast. We'll see you in the next
Podmat.
Correct.
That's a good ending, I reckon. We'll see you in the next Podmat.